The ultimate news portal for the Philadelphia Phillies is on the air, bringing you everything about Philly's most traditional franchise.
Stay tuned for behind-the-scenes trade rumors and analysis of the big plays because our bulletin starts right now.
6 hours. That's all that's left. The clock is ticking down towards 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and right now, Dave Dombrowski's phone is probably glued to his ear inside that Citizens Bank Park suite, because according to ESPN's Buster Olney, the Philadelphia Phillies are about to make not one, but 2 pitching moves before this trade deadline slams shut. 1 starter, 1 reliever, and if you watch this team stumble through the back half of their rotation and blow bullpen leads all season, you already know why. Let's start with the rotation, because this is where the alarm bells have been ringing loudest in Philly. The Phillies have Zack Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez anchoring the top of this staff. That part's not in question, but when you get to spots 4 and 5, this rotation has been leaking WAR and inflating its collective FIP for months. Aaron Nola has shown flashes of the old form recently, sure, but the underlying StatCast metrics, the exit velocity against the barrel rate, still paint the picture of a pitcher who isn't the same guy who anchored October runs a few years back. And Andrew Painter, as electric as his last outing looked, is still a young arm the front office needs to manage carefully in terms of innings limits down the stretch. You can't lean on a rookie fireballer to be your only reinforcement in a pennant race. That's exactly why Dombrowski is reportedly circling the starting pitcher market, and the names floating around are legitimate difference makers. Robbie Ray, when healthy, gives you swing and miss stuff on the left side that this rotation desperately needs. Someone who can neutralize a lineup's lefty bats in a Citizens Bank Park environment where the ball flies. Clay Holmes converting to a starter role has been one of the more fascinating storylines around the league. And if his sinker-heavy approach translates to a 5-and-fly role in a Phillies uniform, that an innings eater who can stabilize the 4th spot immediately, then you got Casey Mize and Dustin May, 2 names that check the box of swing for the upside, former top prospects who could give you a real jump in stuff metrics if the Phillies pitching lab gets its hands on them. Now let's talk dollars, because this is where the Dombrowski calculus gets complicated. The Phillies are already operating deep into competitive balance tax territory this season. Bryce Harper, Tree Turner, Zack Wheeler, and Kyle Schwarber's contract alone eat up a massive chunk of the books, and ownership has shown willingness to pay the tax bill. But there's a real question of how far Dombrowski wants to push it. A rental like Ray or a controllable arm like Holmes changes the math completely. If Philadelphia goes a rental route, it's mostly about facilitating money and prospect capital rather than long-term payroll flexibility. But if they land someone with multiple years of control, that's a decision that ripples into next winter's arbitration class and how much room John Middleton's front office has to maneuver in free agency for guys like Tree Turner's eventual extension conversations or retaining their own in-house arbitration arms. Let's pivot to the bullpen because honestly, this might be the more urgent fire to put out. Orion Kirkeren was supposed to be the emerging power arm bridging to the 9th inning. But his season has been a roller coaster. The swing and miss stuff is still there on paper, but the command has wavered, and manager Rob Thompson has visibly shortened his leash in high-leverage spots. Jose Alvarado has trended upward the last couple weeks, which is a positive sign. But let's be real, the track record of volatility with him means the Phillies can't bank on him being a lockdown 8th-inning arm every single night in October. And now, with Brad Keller done for season, that's a real subtraction from the Penn's depth chart. You're talking about a team that literally cannot walk into the final 2 months of a pennant race without adding bullpen reinforcement. This isn't a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. So where does Dombrowski turn? Olney's reporting suggests names like Adrian Morejon and Luke Weaver are on the radar. But let's pump the brakes. Both of those are premium, high-cost trade chips. Morejon stuff would be an incredible fit multi-inning, high-leverage, swing-and-miss slider. But the return package San Diego would command is steep, likely touching into Philadelphia's better AA or AAA arms. Weaver's been one of the most dominant relievers in baseball when healthy, but that pedigree comes with a price tag that could stretch Dombrowski's remaining prospect capital thin. That's why the more realistic and, frankly, the smarter value plays are names like Brooks Raley, Jeff Hoffman, Kyle Finnegan, Brock Burke, and Antonio Senzatilla. These are the kinds of names that won't gut the farm system, but can immediately stabilize middle inning or setup roles. Jeff Hoffman, in particular, is someone who profiles as a bridge arm to Jhoan Duran in the 9th, a two-headed high-leverage combo that lets Rob Thompson mix and match matchups in the 7th and 8th without having to overextend Alvarado or Kerkering in spots they're not ready for right now. Kyle Finnegan brings closer caliber experience that could slide into a setup role seamlessly. And Brock Burke gives you that deceptive left-on-left matchup weapon that every playoff bullpen needs in October. And let's address the elephant in the room, Mason Miller. Yes, the strikeout numbers are video game numbers. Yes, the triple-digit heat would look incredible warming up in the Philadelphia bullpen. But here's the reality. The Phillies already have their true shutdown arm in Jhoan Duran. Adding another max effort, 9th inning only reliever doesn't address the actual hole on this roster, which is bridge depth, guys who can get you from the 6th to the 9th without the game slipping away. GA premium prospect package on a name like Miller, when Duran already occupies that exact lane, would be an inefficient allocation of trade capital. Dombrowski built his reputation on efficient, targeted asset management, not splashy names for the sake of headlines. Now, in terms of what this costs on the farm system side, expect the Phillies to dip into their upper-level minor league depth rather than touching their top-tier position player prospects, names in the AA and AAA ranks, particularly some of the depth arms that have plateaued or profile more as bullpen future pieces themselves, are the more likely trade chips heading out of Philadelphia. Dombrowski has never been shy about trading from organizational pitching depth to win now, and with his current core, Harper, Turner, Schwarber, Wheeler, squarely in win-now mode, expect him to prioritize big league impact over long-term prospect hoarding. So here's where we land as that 6 p.m. deadline approaches. Buster Olney's prediction lines up exactly with the eye test and the underlying metrics. This Phillies team, as currently constructed, does not have enough pitching depth to survive a 7-game series against the National League's best. The rotation needs stabilization at the back end, and the bullpen needs an influx of trustworthy arms Rob Thompson can call on in the 7th and 8th innings without holding his breath. Whether it's Robbie Ray or Clay Holmes join the rotation, and whether it's Jeff Hoffman or Kyle Finnegan bolstering the pen, the direction is clear. Dombrowski is finishing this deadline with reinforcements, not standing pat. The National League East race and the wild card picture are both tight enough that even marginal upgrades, an extra half win in bullpen leverage, an extra tick down in starter FIP, could be the difference between hosting a playoff series at Citizens Bank Park in October or watching from home. Dombrowski knows it, ownership knows it, and Phillies fans absolutely know it. We'll be watching that trade deadline tracker just as closely as you are. So stick around, because the moment names get confirmed, we'll break down every single detail, contract structure, roster fit, and what it means for the stretch run. If you want the fastest, most accurate breakdown of everything happening in Philadelphia this deadline day, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on notifications too, because when Dombrowski pulls the trigger, and he will, we'll have the full analysis up within minutes. Let's get this thing figured out together. See you in the next one, Phillies fans.